Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is David Shire. I don't know if you know me. I definitely would like to know you. Anyway, today what we are doing is we are going to do a definitive ranking of how I feel these certain chess players are going to do in a simulated season of Survivor. Now, if that sounds very complicated, basically, there's this thing on the internet called a Brant Steal, and we're going to place all these chess personalities into this Brant Steal, and then we're going to go ahead and run a fake Survivor season with all of them. Now, if that sounds very complicated, basically, there's this thing on the internet called a Brant Steal, and we're going to place all chess personalities into this Brant Steal, and then we're going to go ahead and run a fake Survivor season with all of them, and we're going to see how well each of these chess grandmasters could do based on what I know about Survivor and based off of what I know about chess. All right, so that's the idea of the video. If you want to like, comment, and subscribe, always down for that. If you want, I'll put a link in the description of this tier list, and you can do your own ranking and send me what you think is on Twitter or anything like that at David Shire. I think it would just be a really fun conversation piece. But for now, let's go ahead and let's get started. So here it is, my ranking list of a fake season of Survivor, and the way this is going to work is I'm going to rank these players based off of how well I think they would do on a actual season of Survivor, having known nobody, and then how well I think they're going to do in this season based on their relationships and things that I've heard in the chess community. I'm still a little bit new to the chess community, but I think this would be kind of an interesting introduction point for you. And I've definitely learned a lot in the last 24 hours just studying these people and learning about like their interesting lives. So starting off, our first player that is going to be touching the beaches of Tocantins, which is the season that we're going to be simulating, we have Magnus Carlsen. Now we're all going to put him in D tier just as a placeholder, but Magnus is interesting to me because I think on a season where nobody knows who Magnus is, I think that Magnus actually does stand a pretty good shot of winning the game. What people don't really talk about much with Magnus as far as his chess brilliance is he also a pretty physical guy. You know, he's pretty tall. He works out a lot because I don't know. I saw like an interview where he says that you got to be mentally strong in chess, but you also kind of have to make sure that you keep physical shape. He likes working out. I think he does it like 3 times a day, which is kind of crazy. And so I think Magnus actually would be a pretty good physical asset for his tribe. The problem is, and the problem that he's gonna run into, like let's say that this was a real season, is that chess players are kind of egomaniacs. You kind of have to hype yourself up in order to win in chess. I think there's like this whole mentality thing where you have to like really believe that you're the best player in the world, and Magnus has that, and sometimes it can come off as a bit douchey. His humor, I find his humor very funny, but I can imagine being very insulted by Magnus. And there's certainly stories where he shows up late and like takes his time taking off his clothes and stuff like that, like his jacket, I should say. But so that could be a problem for him. And I also just, like chess players are egomaniacs in the sense that I don't think anybody will want to take Magnus to the end. It would be a very tough position to win for a lot of these chess players. And I think they're smarter than that. So for that reason, I think the highest I can place Magnus on this list is I'm still going to place him pretty high. I'm going to place him in A. I've gone back and forth whether Magnus is an A or B, but I think A is a good ranking because I do think he would do exceptionally well in a season where nobody knew who he was. All right, so that brings us to our next person on the list. We're going to go to Alexandria Botez. Now, Botez and the Botez sisters are synonymous with the chess community right now. A lot of people have entered in with them. They're, great women players. I think, honestly, I want to put my first thought, put her in D tier now. But my first thought coming into this when I thought about Alexandria is that she is well known for the Botez Gambit, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically when you sacrifice your queen in a game of chess for particularly no reason, right? So her reputation coming into this game is not going to be all that much. It's not going to be threatening in any way, and that's good for, all these big egos that are going to be on the playing field. However, there could be an argument saying that she is maybe dragged to the end as a GOAT. I think that'd be a mistake, though. I think that going in with the story of, your name being synonymous with one of the worst chess moves in history, and going to Final Tribal and saying, look, I came in here with this no reputation, and I ended up doing so well in this game, and I just wanted to prove to people that I deserve respect. I think that that's going to do her quite well in the game. So I think I'm going to put her in A tier. A for Alexandria. We're going to put her there, and we're going to continue on our list. All right. Here's the tough one. Okay. Hikaru Nakamura. This is very tough because I've recently had the experience that I think all chess people getting into the community have, where Hikaru is the person that gets you into the community, right? He is the #1 chess streamer in the world. I think he just hit a million subscribers on Twitch, I believe. He has a pretty big YouTube following, and people, he's responsible for this big chess boom. However, a lot of drama has been happening with Hikaru recently in terms with Eric Hansen. I'll link to a video maybe of that, all the drama and talking about Eric Hansen, his feelings. But basically what it comes down to is that Hikaru was the story is that Hikaru was copyright striking Eric, and that was maybe not so cool. I don't know the full details. I don't want to be legally involved in any of that. But Hikaru's not coming in with the best reputation, right? Ben Feingold once said that everybody has a Hikaru story, and so if that's true, then Hikaru is going to have a tough time in Survivor because Survivor is so much about these social relationships. So that being said, I love Hikaru. Even if he is a jerk sometimes, I kind of like that as a personality trait in my reality TV stars and just my entertainment stars. There is something kind of interesting about having him in this game. But I think I'm going to have to place Hikaru in C tier. I just don't see him making it past pre-merge, and if he does, I think he's a GOAT that somebody takes to the end. But I do think he's not a first boot. I think there's a little bit more respect for him, and I think that will carry him through the first boot. All right. Next, we're going to do Andrea Botez. We're just going to get both Botez sisters out of the way real quickly. Now, Andrea, I think, is honestly, she's entertaining. I'll give her that. I think she might be the youngest to play. Let me look this up real quick on my phone as I continue to speak. But I think her age is going to be a bit of a problem in this game. Andrea Botez. Age. Yes, she would be the youngest castaway. She's only 18 years old. And overall, I think winning Survivor, you do have to have a little bit more life experience in order to win a jury vote, and which is something that Andrea doesn't have. I also don't think she might be physically tougher than some of these other guys, but I don't know. It's tough to say how far she would go, and plus with her sister going to being on the other tribe, I think people are going to want to break up that pair. So I think her placement in this season in particular is not super great. And any other given season, I think that she makes it to probably a little bit past the merge, depending on who the players out there, even having possibilities to win. But I think on this season, I think it's just I put her in too tough of a simulated position, and I want to put her. I don't want to be mean. That's the problem with this video, because if I ever do see Andrea, I don't want to be mean, if we ever do a collaboration. I don't want somebody to clip this and show it to her and then for her to be mad at me. That'd be rough. All right, Ben. Main event, Ben Feingold. What to do with Mr. F6 himself. We are putting him in D tier. That's what we're doing. Hardcore. But I think Ben is the second oldest castaway, or he would be in this season. And you can be really smart and older in Survivor, and you just don't make it far. That's just kind of a trope that happens in these reality show games. So unfortunately, for that reason alone, Ben probably is in D tier. But also, Ben's sense of humor, while I deeply enjoy it, I think he is a sassy king. Not everybody enjoys, and when you're at the bottom of the tribe and you're making that kind of humor, I can see Ben rubbing a lot of people the wrong way and being a really early first boot. I can see him not do super well in the challenges, and that just being another excuse to get rid of him. There'd be a lot of momentum to get rid of Ben first, and I think that either tribe in any situation that he comes in at, I think he's the first boot. Unless, I don't know, he seems to have a pretty good relationship with Eric Hansen, but I don't see Eric sticking his neck out too far for Ben, because why would you? Yes. So let's go ahead. Let's do. Next person up is okay. I want to say her name correctly. I've been listening to her name over and over again on YouTube, and I want to say it correctly. We're gonna do Hu Yifan or Yifan. We're just gonna call her Yifan. Um, she is the current. I feel like I should be more respectful. Yifan is the current world women's chess champion, and I'll put her in D tier to start out. I think that Yifan, she's interesting. I knew probably the least amount about her and a couple of the women chess players, only because women's chess is only recently been picking up, and I think that she's pretty interesting. She did an interview with Tanya Yitzkov. I can't. I get the name wrong. But she did an interview where she basically talked about chess, and she talked about her journey, how she was like 5 years old, started playing the game, and how chess isn't her entire life, right? She wants to like experience more out of life, and I thought that was really admirable from like the women's world champion. I thought it was really interesting. I think that if she does get to the end, I think people might drag her along too much, and I think she'll have opportunities to make big moves. And because of the fact that she has that prestige, I think that if she does get to the end, she actually does have a better chance of winning over a jury. And I watched a video with her and Magnus recently, and she wasn't very charismatic in that video, but I think she'll be very overlooked, despite the fact that she does have that, she's basically coming into the season as a champion, right? As somebody who it would be like to Survivor, somebody winning the game before, coming in with that prestige and getting to the end itself might just be enough for her to win the game. And so I'm going to put her in B tier. I think that's a good spot. All right, now Levy. Levy. I love Levy. I love Levy a lot. Levy, also known Levy Roseman, as also known as Gotham Chess, is my favorite YouTuber to watch as far as a chess commentary, as far as learning chess openings. I really like the way that he plays, and I definitely have a lot of personal bias. I've probably watched the most chess content from Gotham Chess. However, Season of Survivor against these Titans, how would Levy do? I feel like he's not coming in with a huge target. I feel like he doesn't have a huge physical presence, so it won't be, which could backfire on him in pre-merge. But if he makes it past, if he makes it to the merge, I think he has a pretty deep run. I found out this today. He's only 25 years old, which I just turned 25, and that's crazy to me. And he's an international master. So, I don't know. I think Levy probably... I want to put him in A. I really do. But that's personal bias. I'll put Levy top of B. I think that... I kind of want to move Magnus down now. But I think that top of B is good for Levy. I feel like he has shots to win the game. Basically, the way I'm seeing it right now is that if you're in B and above, it means that you have pretty decent chances of actually winning the game in the jury vote. C and below means that C is you maybe have a chance, and then D is you're either D stands for dragged to the end or dumped early, and so that's kind of where I'm leaning. I think that Levy would have a shot to win the game if he makes it to the end. I think he comes in probably with a lesser amount of connections. He does do chess commentary, but there are some. I've heard some comments where he doesn't seem to know some people that he's going to be playing against. Ben Feingold doesn't really have much to say about him, for example. He's not really up there with these top GMs. I don't know if he's had conversations with people like Magnus, so it'll be tough. But I think it'll be a little bit tougher road for him with some of these GMs that are going to be there. And so that's why I'm putting him at top of B because I don't know. That's where I feel. All right, Maurice Ashley. Maurice Ashley. I don't even really need to think about this. I'm gonna put him in S tier. This is kind of my ridiculous ranking, but whatever. I think Maurice. I was watching a couple videos today about him, and I was very impressed. I thought, he's very physically strong. He seems very personable. Um, he's hosted many chess tournaments. He's done a lot of commentary. He's been in this business for years. I would say that Maurice would probably be my winner pick. He has the most life experience out of this cast, and I think this cast is going to really respect that because a lot of this cast skews a lot older. I think being a family man will definitely help him um, and help some of these other players. So I'm putting him at S. And if I were to make a chess movie, I'd probably make it on Maurice. I think his story's so cool. I think it's so cool that he played in like this underground chess club in the Bronx. I think that's really good. I don't know. I really love Maurice, and I hope that if this were to ever happen, which it never would, I would hope that he would be the one of the clear winners of the season. All right, moving on. Videt. Videt. I like Videt. I like Videt a lot. He seems very funny. He's very personable. I was looking at his YouTube channel today, and what I kind of noticed was it was like a vlog channel. Like I was totally not expecting that. So he definitely has a lot of personality. Um, the question for me for Videt really comes down to the life experience question. I think that it's going to be tough for him to kind of make that final pitch as to why he should win the game. He's going to come in with some really good personal connections, so I think he's going to do better. And look at him in this little red shirt. I mean, he looks so fit. I mean, my goodness. So I can't really put him too far below B because I do think he'll have opportunities to win the game. I don't know if I can put him in A because I don't know. Magnus is a tough one to get past, but I'll put him just behind Levy. I think what him and Levy have in common is that they're both coming in with somebody that has a really tight two. Levy, I think his relationship with Hikaru should serve Levy really well if they're able to form something. Videt has a good relationship with Anish, who we'll be talking about in a little bit. So I think that's kind of the rank. They'll be in the Survivor Tocantins sense, they would be the Steven to their prospective JTs, right? So that's where I'm putting them. All right, let's do Anna. Anna, I'm gonna put Anna as my winner pick for the women. I think Anna is very nice. I don't have a bad thing to say about Anna. I think she is very sweet. She has this really interesting video where she talked about how in a tournament like this is pretty famous. She tells this story about how she was accused of cheating by having a chess engine in her lip balm, and professional chess players were accusing her of cheating, and the way that she handled that situation was very professionally. The way she described the situation in the video, even years later, was very professional. I just took away a lot, that she just is a very nice person. I think she has the life experience down enough so that I think she can make a pretty good case to any jury that she'd be able to win. Um, and I think she's physical enough. you know, I think she has shots to win some of these mental challenges and physical challenges. So, and I could see people underestimating her. So for that reason, I am putting her as one of my top winner picks. That's where Anna will be going. All right. Let's go to the chess queen herself, Alexandria, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but we're just gonna call her the chess queen. She is a Russian player. Uh, Definitely was a late addition. It was very hard to find 8 women chess players for this list, and it mostly has to do with chess being kind of primarily dominated by women. But I found her story very interesting too. I mean, let's actually look her up because I feel like this one, yeah, Kuznets, right? See, I can't say that name. Kosten, yeah, I can't say that. All right, but basically, she started playing chess when she was 5 years old. Lived during the time of the Soviet Union. When she was 5, she saw the Berlin Wall come down, and so I find that very cool. I find it a very interesting story. She definitely is the oldest woman to be playing the game, and definitely has the most life experience in the game. So for that reason, I'd probably put her bottom of C. I could see her being voted out pretty early because of not being able to contribute to challenges and stuff like that. And also her personality is very intense. Like just watching even some of her streams, she's like a very intense person. But I find her interesting, and I would find her an interesting addition to the show. All right, coming up next, one of my favorites. It's Anish Giri. I love Anish. And if I were to be honest, I'm going to put... I feel so mean. But I'm going to put Anish top of A tier. I've been going back and forth on this one all day. I've been really... It's like Anish S tier or is he A tier? It's been a tough battle in my head, right? Because on the one hand, I think Anish has the life story, right? He's a father of a young boy. He's always been, really close to beating Magnus, and in this case, he does in my rankings. He has the story. I'm gonna move that. He has a story in order to win a game of Survivor. He's very personable. One time he was trash talking Stockfish. I thought it was really fun. But the problem is that I don't see Anish being able to prove himself challenge wise. He has a bit of noodle arms. I don't want to be too mean, but I think that I would love to see Anish on a season of Survivor. It would just be very fun, and that's why I ranked him so high. Just because I think it would just be a very fun time to see Anish Giri play a season of Survivor. Can you just imagine him out there just being like, what do I do? Like just offer draws to the trees of like saying like, oh yeah, like the enemy team's ahead, maybe we should offer them a draw. I love that about him. So, but that's where I'm putting Anish. I'm putting him at the A tier. All right, let's see. Final four. Who we got next? We got Anna Kramling. Very nice from what I understand. Very good chess commentator. However, I'm gonna put her. I think Ben might be the absolute lowest. I feel bad for pooping on Ben. I'm gonna put Anna here as well. I really have a tough time thinking of a way that Anna wins the season. She's the second youngest castaway, and so I think her story, it would be just tough for her to pull a win out. I think the only difference really between her and Andrea is that Andrea has the story of her sister, and if her sister does get voted out and Andrea goes to the end, I mean, we've seen that story before. Andrea could become like the next Natalie, right? Where she ends up avenging her sister and going on to win the game. Whereas Anna doesn't really have that narrative. Her only narrative that I can think of is that she has 2 famous grandmaster chess parents, and I think that would definitely help her case. But being like, you could say some story like, I always felt like I was in the shadow, blah blah blah, and then like pitch that at tribal council and see if anybody takes it. But I think if you're like at the end with somebody with a family, somebody that has more life experience, I think it's going to be very difficult for you to connect with people on Survivor. I think the three things that people connect most to in Survivor is, family and religion. And if you don't really have a strong connection to either of those, and you meet somebody out there on the island that does have a strong connection with those, then your chances of forming a strong bond with them would be very good. But whereas I just don't think Anna really has that. However, I would be rooting for her. I think she's very nice, and I would hope for the best. All right, Eric Hansen. I'm gonna place Eric. We'll talk about Eric for a bit. Eric has some major beef with Hikaru. You know, he's had some issues with Hikaru in the past, and having them both on separate tribes, I think, is going to be really fun, or would be really fun on a season of Survivor. Me, I just kind of live for drama. I don't really take sides on either issues. But if I were, I'd probably take Eric's side a little bit more. That being said, you know, it's whatever. Life is life. But I think Eric, has the tools to be a really great survivor. I think he seems pretty physical. He seems very personable. He's built his brand on YouTube. Definitely has a lot of charisma to him. And do I think he can win though? That's a tough question. I don't know because I think socially, we've seen him get burned before, and he doesn't react well to it. And so for that reason, I'm probably gonna put him. Man, this is tough. Probably would put him B tier, and then I'm probably gonna reshuffle this a little bit at the end here. But I think Eric. Does he have better chances than Levy to win? This is so tough now. I think Eric's good. I just don't think I could. Like I'm having a real tough time. I think I'll put him above Beat It, and then I'll probably move Ifan in the future. I think Eric has really good winning opportunities. It depends on how trusting he is of people, and if that's going to screw him over in the end. Because I can definitely see Eric being one of these post-merge boots that really puts his trust in somebody like Alexandria and Magnus, and they end up betraying him, and he ends up not going super far. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see him beasting his way out of that situation, like a Mike Holloway. But I don't know. I think B is a good spot for Eric. All right, let's talk about Nemo now. We're gonna end this on two women. I'm actually gonna put. Okay, we're gonna put Nemo here. I find Nemo to be very fun. I think she's definitely the person I know the least about, which is kind of unfortunate. I was trying to do a lot of cramming and studying for this, and I'll be honest, she's the one I know the least about. But from what I've seen, I think that she has probably just as good a winning chances as anybody. I think that she'll be definitely underrated going into this game. She has a pretty good Twitch following. Yeah, that's just I don't know too much about her, and so I I still think she goes way above Anna and Ben. I think she's definitely C. I think she has winning chances. Like I'm gonna put her above Levy. That hurts me deep down. But I think that Nemo, from what I've seen, I mean, she does have like a little bit of a hot streak in her. She doesn't take crap from chat, which I like, which I've seen and I like about her. And so I'm going to put her as B tier, as as that will be my ranking. And finally, we got Tanya. Tanya's going in an S. I think Tanya has a lot of good winning chances in this game. I think that every interview I saw, especially with the women, Tanya was involved. And I think if anyone was going to lead a women's alliance, it's probably Tanya, and she would definitely get the credit for it. So for that reason, I think I put her at the bottom of S tier. I think that's fair. I feel like that's pretty good. If she's able to get a women's alliance rolling, I think she would do really well. Um, and I don't know, she just seems really nice. She has the life experience. She's married. I think that in Survivor 2, another thing that really connects people is marriage, right? Talking about your spouses and things of that nature. So she kind of fits like probably the perfect mold, uh, most complete mold for the women. I feel on the season. I think that she'll be well respected. So for that reason, I'm putting her in S tier. I think she won't be really a hazard in the challenges. Um, and if she's able to be cutthroat near the end, I think she's going to do really well. All right, so that's my official rankings just off the top of my head. Let me think. Do I want to change anything? Let's see. I think the only thing I want to change is I'm going to put Hugh a little bit further up. I think the problem with Eric and Vidit that they're going to face in like an actual season would be like their physical and their likability. I think it's going to be a really tough challenge where I think Yafan is going to really slide under the radar and would go farther in the game. So I think moving her up is a good move. I think keeping Magnus bottom of A tier is probably good. And then I'm probably going to slide Hikaru actually. One space down. I think he has better winning opportunities than Chess Queen Alexandria. But, or maybe we'll just call her CQ Alexandria. That'd be kind of cool. I think he has better winning opportunities than her, but not much. I think he would honestly be a GOAT that people would take to the end. And that's my brutally honest opinion of that. But, like I said, this list isn't perfect. It's completely biased in some places. I mean, I feel like I'm being fair with Levy. Anish, I'm probably being a little A for Anish. I'm probably being a little too high on Anish. But overall, I feel like these rankings are fair. If you have different opinions, I'll link to the description of this tier maker list, and you can give me your opinions over Twitter, or I'll be looking in the YouTube comments. And again, if you like the video, just like and subscribe and do all that cool stuff. Hit the bell icon if you want. Like literally just take out a bat and just smash the bell icon. Don't do that. You'll break your computer. And then, I don't know. Could you sue me? Probably not. Anyway, I might start my actual video. The video will be live on YouTube tomorrow, so if you missed this on the live stream, I do try to stream like every Tuesday. We'll say Tuesday at 9 p.m. is when I stream. I was a little late today, but we'll say that I do that. All right. Anyway, toodaloo, guys, and I will see you next Tuesday.